the words and I got the flow. See, I don't gotta write, I got the Holy Ghost. Yeah, that's called a ghost writer. Jeremiah 5:14, that's so fire. Isaiah 14, and when I retire, out of captivity, I broke the iron. Who that is coming out of Mount Zion? Woolly hair, looking like a lion. 1,000 men marching with no drums on, no trombone, just boots.
Welcome to FCN Quick News of the Day. I'm your host, Officer Daniel, and in today's news we have
U.S. news outlets push back against Pentagon's reporting restrictions.
So, according to the news outlets, the Pentagon are pushing a new protocol or some type of new law where they want to control more of what reporters report about. Let's read a little bit on that.
Leading U.S. news outlets have rejected a new Pentagon policy that bars journalists from the building unless they only report information that has been officially authorized by the Department of Defense.
So they have to authorize anything that they report on. Read the next paragraph.
Major outlets, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNN, have said they will not agree to the new guidelines, citing concerns it could severely undermine press freedom. The BBC will not sign up to the new rules either.
I remember when I was reading this article, it reminded me when Bishop Yawasop pulled the video addressing how Emelec was purchasing all these new social media companies, these news networks, and all these new television stations. Why? To control the narrative when it comes to social media, to push their agenda. Let me get that video that Bishop pulled this past Sabbath.
Well, the Israelis have effectively taken over American media. Bari Weiss is the owner of the Free Press, which she just recently sold to CBS News for $150 million. Not a small amount of money. Plus, she gets elevated to editor-in-chief of CBS News. This is David Ellison. This is the son of Larry Ellison. He is the CEO of Paramount. She is actually going to be reporting directly to David Ellison, bypassing traditional network leadership structure. David Ellison, the son of Larry Ellison, the largest single donor to the IDF, and he is the largest shareholder in TikTok. Larry Ellison and family own Paramount Skydance, a massive corporation which holds these.
See that? So you see all these corporations. Pluto, Pluto TV. I didn't even know that was on there. Nickelodeon, BET, MTV. These are a lot of the outlets that push that trash, that terrible communication to our people. Play on.
Brands. Look at all these brands that are under the Paramount Skydance banner, and the Ellison family owns now all of these brands. They control CBS, including CBS News, MTV, Nickelodeon, BET, Miramax. The list goes on. Now, you might not remember Bari Weiss. She called Tulsi Gabbard a toady, saying that she was an Assad apologist. Bari Weiss is extremely pro-Israel. Obviously, the Israelis hated Assad. They really wanted to topple Assad. Calls her a toady. Doesn't even know what a toady is.
She's an Assad toady.
What does that mean?
She is
What's a toady?
I think that I used that word correctly. Jamie, can you check what toady means?
This wasn't a well-deserved promotion to editor-in-chief of CBS News. She's a Netanyahu toady. To use her own words, she's a Netanyahu toady. Now she's running CBS News, and it gets worse. You thought this was bad enough. It actually gets worse. Let's talk about Warner Brothers Discovery. These are all the brands under the Warner Brothers Discovery brand.
A lot of other networks that our people watch: Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, Adult Swim, TNT. These Max, what is it called? Cinemax? I don't know. But these are the networks that our people are locked into and get programmed by these programs that they put in our communities. Go ahead.
And you've got, of course, Warner Brothers, TNT, Food Network, HBO, TBS, TLC, CNN, HBO Max, HGTV, Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, New Line Cinema. Well, guess who's about to buy it? The Ellisons. How is this even allowed? How are they allowed to acquire practically all of American media and social media and run it under their Israeli thumbs? How is this even allowed? They already control too much, and they're not loyal to America. It is shameful.
Drop that. So, according to media now, so-called Israelis, I ain't say it. I mean, because they canceled a couple of our brothers for saying that, right? Was it Amari Stoudemire? I believe he said it at one point, and it was a couple of other of our brothers that said it, and they pulled the whole cancel culture on them, basically. So, according to them, they control media. And that is actually according to the Bible as well. Watch this. Give me Ephesians. We're going to start off at Ephesians chapter 2. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2. Before they made that brother do a whole Amalek program to apologize to that community. Amazing. Dave Chappelle too, but he didn't do it. Ephesians chapter 2, we'll read verse 2.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 2 and verse 2, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
It says, according to the prince of the power of the air. What does that mean? The prince of the power of the air. Watch this. I went to some of the commentaries to see what some of these so-called scholars, because they don't believe when the Israelites tell you what it means. Give me the commentary real quick.
Matthew Poole's commentary of the powerful powers as they are called.
Yeah, they can see that.
Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. Those devils or powers of darkness are marshaled under him as their prince, who sets up a kingdom to himself in opposition to Christ.
So there's going to be a kingdom set up in opposition of Christ. You got to ask yourself, do they push when we watch these networks like Cartoon Network, BET, etc.? Do they push things according to the Bible, or is it contrary to the Bible, like homosexuality? You understand? Is that according to the Bible? Are we supposed to do it? You understand? Lesbianism, drug abuse. Do they portray God's people as drug dealers? You understand? These are all things contrary to the Bible that this kingdom has set up in opposition to Christ. Give me the highlighted part.
Of the air that are in the air, this lower region, by God's permission, that they may be ready at the hand to tempt men and do mischief in the world.
So of the air goes into, he wrote that they are ready to tempt men and do mischief in the world. That's what it means, in the air. How do they do that? How do they tempt men and do mischief in the world? Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and read verse 33.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33.
Come on.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
It says evil communication. That's what it means to be. It means the prince of the, what it says, in the air, the prince of power of the air. Sorry, excuse me. It says to do communication evilly, evil communication that can corrupt men or tempt men or do mischief. That's what it's talking about. Read it again.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33.
Come on.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
God says evil communication can corrupt you. So if you see in society how we have one race of people, Amalek, Esau, Idumea, a conglomerate taking up all the communication networks that can push doctrines, that can push beliefs, that can push religions, and now they control it. They control the airways, the way to communicate one to another. God said he'd been prophesied about it. Give me Revelation chapter 12. That's what's happening. They're showing you, God is showing you who he's talking about in the scriptures. Revelation chapter 12 and read verse 12. Read verse 14, sorry.
The book of Revelations chapter 12 and verse 14.
Matter of fact, read 13 first.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man child.
The woman according to Isaiah chapter 43 is Israel. 54, sorry. 54 and 5 is Israel. Go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time.
So the wilderness. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. The woman that flew into the wilderness. The woman is Israel. The wilderness is captivity. Read that. 28:64.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64.
Come on.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods.
So God said he prophesied that he would scatter his people for disobedience. Let's get some of the locations that we were scattered. Zephaniah chapter 3, read verse 10. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 10. This is the wilderness.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 10.
Come on.
From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed.
Where's Ethiopia? In Africa. God said he would scatter his people in that region also over here. It says we shall be scattered to the ends of the earth. You understand? That's us being removed from our promised land, us being cast into the wilderness of Ethiopia, the wilderness of Africa. Come on.
Shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me.
Get Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. More on that wilderness.
The book of Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnants of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
There you go. It says, and from all the islands of the sea, from Egypt, from Pathros, from Cush. These were the places that we were scattered because we broke God's laws and was removed from our homeland. So God said, go back to Revelation chapter 12. Read verse 14 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Come on.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time.
And God says we shall be nourished there. This is how we know the wilderness is captivity. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Go back. And I want to read verse 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, because I know a Christian. Oh, that don't mean what he said it means. Shut up.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
There you go. That's nourished. God says we shall be nourished by our enemies wherever we were scattered. If we were scattered to the landmass of America, we would be nourished by our enemy there. If we was so-called Afro-Palestinians, we would be nourished there. We got people in Yemen, we would be nourished there. We got people in China, we will be nourished there by our enemies. You understand? That's what God prophecy said about his people. So go back to Deuteronomy 12, read finish verse 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 14.
Come on.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into a place where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half, and a time.
So that's 350. Go ahead. 350 years.
From the face of the serpent.
And God says we shall be nourished by the face of the serpent. In Deuteronomy 28, it says our enemy. Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
So it says, and then he cast out water as a flood. What does the water represent? Go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26. Because God details what he means when he references water a lot of times in the scriptures. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26.
The book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 26.
Come on.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word.
The washing of the water by what?
By the word.
The word represents understanding. So a lot of times when the Lord references water, he's talking about understanding. Understanding. Watch this. Go to Hebrews 13 and 9. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 9.
The book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 9.
Come on.
He be not carried with the diverse and stranger doctrine.
No, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. Read it again.
Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines.
It says like a flood would carry you. God says be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. Read.
For it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace. Not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein.
See, so God is talking about diverse and strange doctrines. Diverse and strange doctrines. Go back to Revelations 12. Revelation chapter 12.
The book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 14.
No, we're not at 14.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Carried away by how? By diverse and strange doctrines. That's what they're doing. Their social media, their flood that took on the woman, Israel, they're trying to carry us away with their doctrines. They're trying to control the setting of the media, what goes out. That's why they're controlling what's happening in Gaza. You understand? They wiped out the Palestinians' media networks where they can't actually post what's going on in Gaza, and now they control what is said or what's being done in Gaza. They control the narrative. Thank you. Read it again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Go ahead.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
But God says we will help that woman out. We would help Israel out and speak the truth, spread the true gospel. You understand?
And swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Last one. Give me Colossians chapter 2 and read verse 8.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Christ.
So now that we know who is this serpent, who is Satan, that now controls the media, God says beware of what they push. With that, I say shalom.
What is the nation? Nation is men leading by example.